Be well, be strong, be able, be well. Julia with Be Well Fitness. The purpose of this video is to give you some ideas on how to be creative and use some stuff that you already have at home to add weights or to add more resistance perhaps in your journey of beginning your strength training. And I do have a foundational core strength program that I specifically designed for women over 40, and that's who I really work with. The women who used to be active, but then they've been taking care of themselves, the career, the family, the kids, and all of that. And then they get to that point of becoming an empty nester and they want to feel better. They want to understand how to also use strength training so that they can benefit from it. And a lot of times I hear, I'm too old, or I'm not sure what to do, I'm afraid, I have some pains and aches. So that's why if you are in that stage and you don't want to make too much investment in the equipment, and you might be intimidated by the gym, this is the video for you and also for my participants in the program, just to give you ideas on how to kind of progressively build up, and when you know for sure that you love it, you understand how to do it, you feel great, then you might explore other options. Okay, so the luggage bag. I know we all have luggage bags of all kinds of different sizes. So I'm using this one. And whatever you can find in your pantry. So you can have cans, I'm sure you have some, and you can have pickle jar, right? A bottle of water, make sure it's full if you need that extra weight. There we go, carrots. So, bags of rice or noodles or whatever you have. Okay, so my bag is pretty much full. Heavy and thick books, and hopefully you've read them. Okay, so another book here. And this is how you also can build up your weight, so you know this is how much you can handle, depends on what you're doing. And obviously when you are working your legs and hips or glutes, they can take a lot more than perhaps arms and kind of upper body. So this is where we are a little bit more weak. So if you're working your hip hinge or deadlift and some sort of squats, you can definitely get a little bit more if you have that good coaching, you know how to use your body to work that weight. All right, so I don't know if I have any room for my big bottle of water here. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna skip it. And of course you can zip it up or don't zip it up, but hopefully it's not gonna fall out. So this is my heavy bag, which also helps me practice my functional movement, because I will be traveling, right? And I will have a heavy bag, and I want to make sure I know how to handle it. So we're just gonna be connecting our brain, our movement, and also building strength. All right, so what can we do with this heavy bag? Just like I said, so the easiest one is to start with hip hinge or deadlift or squat, if that's what you practice. Here we go. All right, so you might possibly put the bag between your legs, so just kind of here. And then if you already know what the hip hinge is, you're gonna hip hinge, right? Making sure that you are maintaining a rib cage over the pelvis alignment. So you may feel already your hamstrings are in a lengthened position. So then from here, you make sure that your other muscles here pulling your shoulder blades back, so keeping the arms pretty close to the body. And then practice picking up the bag in that good form. So we're gonna try to inhale here, exhale, inhale, inhale. All right, so we're lengthening our back muscles, back of the leg muscles, and we are using them to contract, to come up. All right, and as we are exhaling, we're activating the pelvic floor, lower core, mid core, upper core. So they're not gonna be like this, they're gonna come as a whole unit, but just to kind of give you an idea. So that's a hip hinge. And of course, if that feels heavy, you can unload and reload to accommodate your journey of strength training. So what else can we do here? I love these handles so that you don't have to also go too low to the floor, especially if you're not ready. Okay? So what we can do here, we can practice rowing, right? So you're gonna put again your body in the position. So this is like in a way half of the hip hinge. So you know again, rib cage is over the pelvis. You have good core activation, and then from here we're gonna start inhale, exhale. You're trying to bring your elbow back into the back pocket of the jeans. And doing your breath work. All right, so that's a possibility of rowing. So now we're gonna try to play with squatting, and you might have a chair here to perhaps put the bag on the chair from which you can pick it up and use it. So from here, we're gonna again stack up our torso, rib cage over the pelvis, and inhale, slowly going down. Exhale, coming up. Inhale, slowly going down. Exhale, coming up. So we're working our upper body, holding this heavy weight, and working our lower body. All right, slowly bringing the back down. Okay, so what else can we play with? So this is the farmer's carry, which is a very great functional movement. So like carrying grocery bags or luggage bags. And because it's a single arm, so we'll be working our core, the kind of opposite part of the core, quite a bit more. So again, we're gonna pick it up, all right? And basically, if your weight is challenging, you may feel it's pulling you down. So which means the other side of the core, these muscles here, have to engage to counterbalance the weight. So feel that tension all around your core, and then just slowly start walking around your room. And again, you're kind of practicing, you're holding that heavy bag, and when you're in the airport and you have to maybe walk faster from plane to plane or from bus to bus, so this is your practicing, preparing you for your live activities, which is great. And that's what I always focus on in my strength training and strength training for my clients, because that's what we essentially need it for. So that it's not going to be a surprise that when you are in the airport carrying this heavy bag and then your back goes into spasm or your hip clicks or whatever. So right, from here we can also practice single arm deadlift. So our form is still the same, hip hinge. But again, because it's a single arm, so the other part of the core muscles will be working a little bit more. The same idea here, inhale, exhale. All right, and of course there are other possibilities. So I want you to be creative, and if you follow a certain program, like I also have in my Activate You coaching program, so you can just play with an idea. Okay, I might add a bag, a bag with weights, or maybe just a can, or a bottle of water, or a heavy book, or a jug of milk. That's excellent. Half a gallon, so that will be a good progression to start working your body and your nervous system, and you developing that sense of comfort that you can do it, because that's important. So we definitely have to progress our strength training for bone density benefits, especially for women over 40, for balancing our hormones, for keeping us in a good mood, and just when we feel strong, the life is easier, right? Okay, so another part of this video is gonna be another bag, and I'm not gonna be loading this bag, so you got the idea. So just load however you want to, whatever fits. And even just before you load it, because it's slightly awkward bag, so it's kind of long, right? You might just play with it, just play with the form, and having something in your hands, that might be just enough. So this is just a longer luggage, and you can possibly start picking it this way, or you can make it a little bit taller for yourself, wherever you are. Again, so we're gonna go into the hip hinge. So we're still engaging these muscles here to pull the shoulder blades back. And then we're keeping the arms relatively close to the body and start our deadlifting. So from here, if, again, depending on where you are in the journey, so the next move is going to be a little bit more challenging, just because it's going to be a little bit more involved. So from here, we need to generate some force a little bit more dynamically. So we are going to bring that bag closer to chest. And of course here, we can make it a little bit more of a combo. So from here, we can go into squatting, deadlifting, coming up, squatting, and then again, bringing it down. Just having something in your hands that has a little bit of weight and making a little bit more complex combination might be just enough. All right, very good. All right, so what else can we do here? Again, depending on where you are in your journey, so you can go into the split squat. All right, so your split squat can be here, or can be here. So choose where you need to be. So I'm gonna be here, just because I can. Again, I'm tucking my pelvis, so my right glute is working, my rib cage is over the pelvis, and this time I'm just gonna practice some twisting. I'm gonna keep the suitcase very close to the chest, and I'm gonna do my torso rotation. So I have to be very solid and very firm through my feet, transferring the energy from the stable feet into the legs and the hips, and then the core, so that my torso can rotate and everything else can support me. All right, so that's another possibility for the movement. And of course here we can practice high-low as well. So again, you're gonna go into your split squat. So let's just, for this sake, I'm gonna play with that. Place a blanket for your knee if you need it. I just have to go here, okay? So we're gonna try to go low-high. So this is gonna be a low, oops, high, and ooh, that's enough. Generating now power with a good forceful exhalation, activating our core, and rotating. All right. So that's a luggage workout. Just exploring different possibilities. And again, be creative. So this is why I have been making this video, just to give you ideas, right? So I'm gonna finish with the last move, and that's gonna be overhead, especially with the luggage. You want to have that ability, confidence, to raise your luggage and put it in that overhead compartment on the plane when you decide to travel. So, and this is a really empowering moment when you can say, I'm able, and you know you are able. So, and I know there are lots of gentlemen who are very helpful on the plane, but just knowing you can is empowering, yeah? So, I'm gonna do it on my knees, just because of the camera setup, but you can definitely practice standing. So on the knees, it might be a little bit more, I would say, this is the move that I will be giving to my beginner women who is just learning how to kind of stay connected, rib cage over the pelvis. Because a lot of times when we are reaching the arms overhead, a lot of times we like to kind of arch throughout. And when we are in a standing position, just because the lever is a little bit too tall, too long, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to control. So I prefer to start on the knees. So you can also put a block between your legs just to help you really connect with your lower core. Okay, so you're going to try to take that good exhale, zip it in and zip it up, so your glutes will be connected as well. Rib cage is over the pelvis. All right, I just have to start here. Okay, and then try to keep that connection, so which means you will feel a lot of core that's going to be resisting your arms reaching up. Okay, so I'm going to inhale, bring it up, down, and actually, yes, you can try to actually do it on exhalation, so you can inhale here, and again, when we have the weight, that is going to be a little bit more challenging. So what we'll experience is that instability, because the weight can win and pull us this way, or the weight can win and pull us that way. And you can see how I'm breaking in the spine. So that means my core is not doing its job. So that's why you might have to regress and do some core tutorials, and I have a lot of foundational core tutorials and breath tutorials, because again, I am really working with that beginner mind. So that's why creating the cues for the beginner and progressing them through that journey is a great and rewarding experience. All right, so I hope it's been helpful, and now you can travel without fear. At least without fear of your body breaking down or start talking to you not in a good way. So you can prepare by using your luggage as your weights as you do your strength training. And this time you will have that connection between your body, your movement, and the brain. So your brain is not going to be scared like, oh my God, I have to lift my luggage and put it into the overhead compartment. Nope, you can do it. You've done it in the practicing environment. And this is Julia with Be Well Fitness. Be well.